Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. It's your boy, HSR.
And it's your boy, Chris Chrome.
And before we get into the podcast tonight, we're going to do some housekeeping. And if you're not interested in that, you can check in the description of this video to skip ahead to when the episode actually starts. We're going to start with giving some love to our patrons, Lindell Williams and Mozart. They support us, and it's really awesome. And if you dig what we do at the end of this, you can feel free to check that out. We'll have some more info at the end. We also want to give some love to our favorite comment from last week's episode where Bonnie and I happened to speak about both Pusha T's Daytona and Kanye West's Ye since they made the two little albums together. And next week, we'll be talking about Kids See Ghosts as well as Nas's album, doing another two little album reviews. So you can just wait for that. We will be doing Kids See Ghosts, but Kevin Hill happened to comment last week and said, "What did y'all think of Pusha T's beef with Drake? He killed him on the story of Abaddon." And I kind of wanted to talk about this a quick minute because, as y'all know, there was a little bit of beef that happened with Infrared, and then Drake responded on a freestyle, and he sent some invoice over and caused some shenanigans on Twitter. And then Pusha T did the story of Abaddon, where he had the picture with Drake with the blackface, and then went in and said he's going to peel back some layers. And then all of a sudden, the beef was just deaded, apparently, behind the scenes. And somebody was like, Drake had a track that was going to go so hard and ruin Pusha T and hurt some people involved that shouldn't be hurt. And then now it's over, and everyone's like, yeah, it's over. Like Pusha said it's over, it's been deaded. Everybody said it's over. But then I saw that apparently they're now going to be able to sue Good Music for like $25 million or $5 million, for $5 million because of the unlicensed use of that picture of Drake. And I'm like, are you serious? If that's a real thing, that's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, all that being said, I think the beef was maybe just a really good marketing play. I don't know anymore. Now I'm just confused as news keeps unfolding. I don't know what you thought of the beef.
I just think that I kind of agree with the whole marketing scheme ploy idea. Drake is one of the hottest rappers. He is always charting. He is always at the top. So I think Push going at him like that is like a way to kind of get him up on that spotlight, going after the toppest rapper, right? Kind of like a street mentality. From what I understand, Push is from the streets, and he's been in that game. So I guess it's not like far-fetched that he might do something like that, but I don't know. I've been waiting to see somebody knock Drake off his high horse for a long time, and I'm actually just really curious on how Pusha T got that information. Like, for him to be able to go and do that research, like he felt prepared after I heard Infrared, after I heard the diss track. Like, he just felt really prepared for it.
That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so I don't know. It was fun for a minute. Now it seems to be a little bit weird. That's, I guess, where I'm going to leave that. On that note, we're, I guess, going to get into this week's episode where we're talking about an album that came out a little bit ago, but we couldn't think of like anything else to do in terms of recent albums. So, Chris, why don't you tell us what album we're doing today?
Well, for this week's Headspace album, we went with Styles P's G Host.
Yes. For those here who might wonder why we're doing this, so we're a couple of guys trying to understand hip-hop better and to follow what's coming out and to just learn. So maybe Styles P's music in general isn't meant for us, and we came into this just because we saw it, we wanted to learn out of curiosity, and so we're going to go through it.
Let's be fair, we also know who the Lox is.
A little bit, yeah.
We did the Lox, we've heard of Styles P before.
We did the Lox like way back at the beginning when we just really didn't know, but even to that end, it was the same thing. We were just kind of randomly picked it, and basically, we go through the album track by track, give our opinion and such, and then kind of give just our feelings and like sum it up and give an album impression at the end. As far as like, we also like to just kind of start a bit with how we understand the artist. So for Styles P, like, yeah, I mean, I know him from the Lox. With the brief interactions I've had, he's not one of the members I'm more familiar with. I know a bit more about Jadakiss. I don't know much about Sleek Louch either, but basically, this will be my first real Styles P experience, having like understood hip hop a bit. Like, we did the locks at the very beginning, like a year and a half ago when their last album, Filthy America, dropped. It was one of our first reviews, and I don't know, it probably went in one ear and out the other, all things considered. So now it's more like we have the opportunity to get to know, like, I guess, an artist from that era who's dropping a new album today. Like, personally, that piqued my curiosity a lot, and I wanted to, like, check it out. But it is a pretty new experience for me. Anyway, so yeah, how about you?
Styles P is a name that I've known for a long time. I've never really actively went to YouTube to listen to him or like searched for his music, but he is one of those artists that I hear people talking about a lot when you talk about old school hip hop and more of the better lyrical hip hops, but with that like rugged edge. He's one of those. But I don't like me too. I don't really know much about it besides the fact that I only found out he was part of the Locks that review that we did it.
Right.
Other than that, I thought he was a solo artist or he was doing his own thing.
He apparently is a solo artist who does his own thing. As of like the early 2000s. I don't know. I read his wiki page and looked into him a little bit, but he doesn't seem to. I mean, I'm certain there's a lot of information out there if I really dug for it, but he doesn't seem to have a lot of spotlight surrounding his life. Fun fact.
Well, he also doesn't go on social media.
Maybe. I actually don't know about that, but
I was watching an interview this morning, and he was kind of on the Breakfast Club. I don't know if it was like today. No, it was when the album dropped in May. Right. He was just kind of saying like he doesn't really go on social media, from what I understand, and that like he kind of keeps everything low key. So he's kind of off of like he's just doing his own thing, focusing on himself, is what I kind of understood.
Which includes, for the record, owning a bunch of juice bars because he's gone vegan and promotes that kind of lifestyle. So he owns, I think, 4 of them is what I saw. And I thought that was particularly interesting. And it's worth knowing that because a couple of bars on the album actually directly reference that. The album is called G-Host. I guess he's like, one of his nicknames is Ghost, is what I understand. Yep. And it's kind of a cool thing because he's like the host for like the G's. He's like there to like, it kind of is a cool double play on that. That's about as much. I mean, it's like a quirky little title that I think works for him, and his fan base probably really digs it. I'm certain that if I knew him better, I would appreciate this more, but it's an okay title. The album cover, it's him on the side. It looks kind of like an art piece. He's kind of cracked up a little bit. And it's a really cool cover, though. I really fucking like it. I like the white background. I liked it almost art. It's almost like he's a living art piece on that cover.
I feel like his shirt kind of looks like a city. The rip at the bottom is the city. The black is the tower. New York Tower.
Eh? Look at that.
Skyscraper. He's also kind of like breaking apart on his head. Yeah. He's kind of like peeling off. He's got like green as the beard. If you look at his beard, it's kind of green with looks like flowers. Could be referencing something. But that's mostly. Oh no, his shirt is an upside down city. Turn it around.
You said that already.
Yep, my bad.
You actually said that. Anyway, so yeah, that's about that, I guess. You can let us know what you think about that, and if we miss some significance in the title, always feel free to correct us on the way. And in the meantime, bubble up, yo.
Doing it out of state, pursuing it. A cop or a shot from a Glock might ruin it.
All right, Chris, how'd you feel about this one?
I liked it. It was a strong, nice little start off to the album. Really banging ass beat. I love the piano sound that's looped into there. I really enjoy piano keys. Super, super hard track. I like one of the lines. Context first. I figured out right away this entire album is going to be bars. Yeah. Like the griminess to it, the way he was flowing with it, the way he was spitting. It just felt like he was layering it with bar after bar. There probably is messages. I got some certain like context from different songs and stuff like that. But a lot of this is going to be bars, and just
hooks and beats.
Right.
But to be okay. Anyway, we'll talk about the beats as the tracks go on.
Right. So one of the lines I liked was when he went, was when Styles P said, "All I think about is who I drink this King Louis with," and I think that's a really strong line because it shows like he's staying loyal to like whoever's really on his team with him, his brothers, his family, all that crew. But as well, he's also it feels like he's a little bit paranoid, and he's also kind of like, who's really drinking this with me? Are they fake? Are they loyal? Like it kind of shows that double entendre about how like that, like you can kind of be shifty, and not you, but like people are shifty in a sense. That was a pretty strong bar. I like that. The hook, I get this feel of like gangsterism, extra clips when we go to war with them is what Dyce Payne says in one line in the hook. It was pretty cool. It wasn't like the greatest of hooks, but it matched the tone of the song. I got that Styles P likes to smoke weed, and he's got also a strong belief in God. Pretty much it. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, that's cool. I got the same kind of sense as Chris. Like right away, even if you had never heard of Styles P before, you get the sense that this is like 90s hip hop in a sense, but with like modern sound engineering. Not necessarily modern production sounds, but modern sound engineering techniques. So it's like properly mixed and mastered as opposed to some of the grimier shit back then, which is got its own artful side, but it is kind of off-putting, I suppose, if you're not really accustomed to the sound. But here it comes in, and my first thought is, again, I was once one of those ignorant fools who would say such things as, oh, there's no such thing as some proper golden era hip-hop out there anymore, and blah, 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 rap's dead. And now I'm hearing stuff like this, and I'm like, well, say whatever you want, but there is definitely lyrical 90s sounding hip-hop being dropped today, so anyone who just says otherwise is clearly not actually paying attention to the artists that are dropping it, you know? But I actually really like the chorus, right? Long time coming out the gate, and then you got the bounce off, had the golden key, so there's little ad-libs every chorus. Whole squad waited for the plate, now they're going to eat and whatnot. Heard them haters praying that we fail. They fail, extra clips when we go to war with them. So you get the sense that he's grimy, that he's got like success now. Everybody's finally kind of risen up a little bit, and everybody wants to take him out, so they're coming in extra prepared, you know. But then the way the hook comes in, the beat like flips up with this like tone shift in the way the keys are. Like it's the same notes, but they like flip the order or something. And it just like creates this elevated dramatic effect. So when he goes, stay on your shit, you gonna bubble up. When you on lit, you gonna double up. It just like, it feels like almost cinematic in the way that this chorus kicks in right at the start of this album. And it made me really excited for this song in a way that maybe if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have felt so excited for this song. But it's a pretty fucking good chorus, right? In my opinion, at least. That grimy gangster shit. Not really singy or anything. It's like rapped. It's like how often do you actually get a good rapped chorus these days? It's nice, you know? And then like you kind of got like the verse coming in where you have Styles kind of contextualizing shit for you, like stay on your shit, you're gonna bubble up. Was all poor, but we squad, so we huddled up. And again, you get the sense of him like thinking back on kind of, I guess, how his come up happened in the beginning. You know, they were like poor, but the fact was there was some squad and some loyalty actually happening within them. If it ain't a bullet or the law, it don't trouble us. High doing dirt, hoping the Lord cover us. Uptown doing it, downtown doing it, out of state pursuing it. A cop or a shot from a Glock may ruin it. And then he has the line that Chris quoted, all I think about is who I drink this King Louis with. And he says Louis, even though for us it's Louis because it's all French. It's an interesting little start, right? Like for me, let's say this is my first real time to like take on Styles P, and he says so much there where he's like, back in the day we had a little squad, and he's grimy, right? So all he cares about is a motherfucker who might pull his gun on him, like getting shot, getting killed, or if the cops are gonna think. And otherwise nothing matters. Everything else is fucking irrelevant because they're high, they're in the crime world, they're doing whatever, and they just kind of pray God will protect them through it all, but they'll do it everywhere. He mentions like they're not afraid to go up there, down there, across state lines, whatever. They gotta do what they gotta do. And at the end of the day, they're like the self-awareness. And again, it's always baffling to hear people when they like say like a cop or a Glock might like end us, you know, like may ruin it. Like, you know, you could be going on this grind and then like the actual consequence is that you get taken out either by a, you know, a police officer arresting you, the jail rat, or the gun,
Dead.
but the creative ways to describe it, and I mean it's really poetic in my opinion. Anyway, and then like there's just other lines, right? So like feel joy from the money whenever the pain leaves, but the pain never goes. Money is the root of evil, and I'm not saying for the flow, insane for the flow. And it's like, man, you get the sense that like he's consumed by this lust for money and everything because it's supposed to be the be all and end all, and he'll have enough when the pain goes away, and then like the pain just never actually does go away. So it really almost seems like proof to the pudding that it's an evil concept to be motivated in such a way, and it's deep, Got to work, blew up everything. Now they fuck with us. Long crime, but it seemed fast, like we shuttled up. And then some interesting lines. Tuna in a can to that lobster buttered up. So an upgrade in their quality of living, because of the way they were committing the crime. So they went from eating tuna out the can, because that shit's 69 cents here in Montreal. And that's in Canadian, so it's even cheaper for y'all Americans. But it seemed fast, like we shuttled it up, because, they did what they had to do, blah, blah, blah. Then they went from tuna to the lobster. Now I eat plants and plan to plant some, planning to stamp something in, can't fuck it up. And if you think about it, how he has like his vegan lifestyle now, he went in the middle of this hard-ass gangsta song and dropped vegan lines and then flipped it into marijuana growing lines. And I'd never heard anybody like drop a vegan bar before, so I had to like stop for a second and be like, that's really cool, Styles P. But the way he hit the beat, man, the way he hit all this shit, he just got that rugged, raw energy. It's that lyrical griminess that, like, I'm starting to really enjoy the more I get exposed to it. Just the craft of putting words together to express these concepts and this emotion in such a beautiful way. And that hook was one of the nice ones. This beat is one of the best on the album, in my opinion. 4.5 on 5. I know I talked a lot, but, man, I was really impressed with this track. It's really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, then Welfare. That's what comes next.
The angel or for a beast, I'm hoping death in the form of a song that is deep ghost.
Chris, how do you feel about this track?
This track's pretty banging. The instrumental, the productions on the instrumental so far, I'm liking it. I like the heaviness to it, the griminess to it. Something in the hook felt a little flat to me. It didn't feel like there was much excitement from the artist. It just until the end when they were making gun sounds, I felt like there was like hyped up there, but like the rest of the chorus was kind of just like flat and boring. I liked a line when Styles P was like, "A bullet and blood is all that I'ma know. Kill all these is all the drama. No, me, I throw the peace sign. Violate my." I shoot everything up, even the street sign.
Savage.
And it is savage, but it's also interesting to see like he knows when to have to be savage and like when to protect himself and when he has to act in certain violent ways. But really what he's just looking for is peace, and he's just throwing that up and promoting like happiness and trying to be like positive and trying to just survive and get through. But then, if you start crossing that and bringing negative energy, he can adapt quickly and do what he has to do. So that was really cool to get that little insight from Styles P. Of course, understanding like the environment that he lives in and that he kind of grew up in is very, very intense and very extreme. And to be able to have that type of mentality, it's like, and that's one way to keep yourself safe, and that is very cool. Starting off even in the second verse when he goes, couple want a body ghost, catch that ass slip and let it ring, then it's adios. Like people are trying to come after him, they're trying to top his swag, top his style, trying to be better than him, and he just has to make sure that if somebody's trying to come for him, he's gonna have to shoot off a couple rounds and do what he has to do to survive, right? Overall, I did land this at a 3.9, just because again the lyrics are tight, the flow is great, but the chorus itself, the hook, just super flat until like the last two lines to me. So 3.9 on 5.
Yeah, this chorus is from The Whispers, and I'm going to have to agree with Chris. It didn't really sound as good to me. It's not that I guess the singing is inadequate or stuff. It just felt like it didn't belong on this song, and I kind of wish it was a little more of like a banger, because like for the beats, like you're expecting some bangerness off this beat, but you also get this kind of sense that The beats are going to have a lot of repetition in them. A lot more of that old school mentality to beat making, I think, where it's not really about crazy production. It's about letting the lyricist come in and do his thing over this beat, as you know. And he comes in and he like expresses where he comes from and stuff, and you get like lines like, "I grew up on welfare, starve, sugar, water, sub sandwiches. They ain't just to eat. I ain't never had healthcare, nah. Just a pistol on the waist for the beef. Load up, Lord, you can't stop it. No, if it's a war, then you gotta go. Then I pull up on your block with that shit right out the window, yelling black, black, adios." And you're just like, okay, that like creates this sense of serious like.
Yeah.
Harsh reality that he's coming from, you know, like being on welfare apparently isn't enough, so he's starving. There's not enough food to be in this situation, just to give you a sense of where this guy comes from, right? Because you gotta like, I feel like often when we think about stuff like crime from a place of the privilege and all that, it's hard to really imagine how you end up getting to that place of crime. So he's almost taking the time to explain it. Sugar, water, sub sandwiches. That just sounds like bad. It just sounds like not healthy or worth eating, you know? They ain't just to eat. I ain't never had healthcare. Nah. I don't 100% understand what that meant, but I don't know.
He never had healthcare.
Yeah, I guess. No, I mean, that part I got. But, like, you know, he has his pistol, and that is his healthcare. That's all he's got. And he's to handle any kind of situation that may arrive, because it's a killer be killer kind of environment. Anyway, it kind of goes in strong and does this whole thing there. But the way this verse starts with "fuck you and fuck all of them. If you don't like me, then load up and bust off then. That was me like a dime ago. Now I'm cool, ma. Learned all the places his baby mama go. A bullet and blood is all that I know." And then he goes into what Chris was saying, but like he kind of starts off showing a little bit of where he was in the back in the day with this mentality. But make sure to let you know that in this current frame of being, he's a little bit wiser and he no longer subscribes to this way of thinking, but he's still taking the time to like let you know where he's at, maybe so that you can relate to him and fully understand what's going on. But following up the street sign line from where Chris was at, it's just welfare, Section 8, fuck that shit. I feel good heading to the loft, clutching fifth. Where I'm from, the insurance policy is your gun and the coke pack. And that's crazy, right? Because we got like quasi-free healthcare up here in Canada, so if you can like wait it out for 15 hours and shit, it's not going to cost you anything.
Right.
And like the idea that like, I mean, as I understand the American healthcare system, if you break your arm, it could bankrupt you in a situation. So it really is like necessary to have that kind of money, especially if you got families and stuff. I also really like sugar water and a syrup sandwich, a little bullet, again, a big advantage. So coming from that place where that's what you're eating, right? Your garbage sandwich situation,
right?
Like poor food, whatever. And then, you know, that bullet in your gun, like it gives you the strength to be able to get that money, move in the situation. He's got a Spanish guy with him. And then we going to do damage, catch the lake, and we trying to vanish. I just like how that sounds. The way he rhymed it was like fucking proper. And then I know I'm quoting a bunch of lines here, but he's a lyrical dude, and it's just like these are the bars that really just struck out to me, you know? Like they say life is a gamble, but you ain't bet a thing. You say you going to war, but you ain't dead a thing. Yeah, I've been to jail, never said a thing. Ghost. And that's how he like ends it. I think each of these verses ends on a ghost. That's so strong, man. Like the fact that people kind of call out a lot of these mantras and just do a bunch of shit, but at the end of the day, they're not real. They don't live that life. When it comes down to it, he went to jail and he didn't snitch. He's real. He's the fucking proper ghost guy, you know? Anyway, I give this a 4. The beat's all right, but it kind of got, like, it's a good beat, but I don't want to hear it like over and over again. It's kind of like when I'm in the mood for it and it came on the beats proper. The hook doesn't really do a lot, but his rapping and his subject matter is so profound that I really actually dug that part of the song. It helped me see why he might be the coolest OG. You know, I gotta say, a lot of the commentary on this one is a little bit like my parallel the feelings of the last couple. This really comes in with that gangster piano driven kind of beat like that.
Right.
But I would not say it's one of the best ones I've heard. It almost feels a bit cookie cutter the way the beat came off. And I'm sorry if this is like maybe me not understanding something or I'm missing the point a little bit. It was cool. Like it's okay, like I picture a car bouncing West Coast almost maybe.
Really?
with the pianos and the way it's...
I got this like loungy feel, like this like he's kind of like walking up on like a stage, like a theater, and people are there kind of like drinking champagne or something like that, right? Like a lounge type setting, and he's kind of on like he's got that mic in front of him, and he's just kind of chilling there doing his thing and explaining like this really kind of like serious story in a sense.
This is why I don't often talk about the beats. I often embarrass myself a little bit. But lyrically, it's okay. I didn't really dig the hook on this one. I feel like I liked Dyce Payne a lot more on the first track than on this one. This one, he was really like singing more. And
I think I prefer the singing just because I know I didn't like him on the last one.
But some of these lines are pretty good, man. I like when Styles P is like, got a bunch of rhymes. I don't do no writing, though. Hey, off the top, he's fucking good, you know?
Damn straight.
And then he just kind of describes his life to us a little bit, and I really love the way he does this. Smoke, eat, smoke, sleep, smoke, fuck, smoke, rhymes. Boom. It's almost like that eat, slave, rave, repeat kind of mantra, but told through his life. You know, he eats, he sleeps, he fucks, and he rhymes. That's his whole life in 4 fucking words with weed in the middle. Pretty much had a cycle go. I'm 5'8", bigger than a Titan, though. I'm 5'7". I get where you're coming from, man. When you small, sometimes like the world needs to know that you a Titan up inside of that shit.
Yes, Holden.
Gun, weed, or a mic. Which one I'm lighting though? Ooh, that's pretty good because he lights all 3 on fire when he does it. And then all 3, he's the OG host, or HOST. Get it? Because it's like the album title, and he's kind of like also the original gangsters host, you know? And I don't know, he's fucking a classy guy and shit. I really dug that little part. It really made me smile when I heard it. Like, it was cool. If it's fire, then lit it up. It was a coward, then I hit him up. But good bars, I'm a big him up. But I don't give no fuck about no rappers. So what? I stay blowing the bomb weed. Left the city meant to chill out by the palm trees. A psychic couldn't tell you what my palm needs unless she's swimming in a pool full of Don P. And that just was kind of fun, man. You get the sense that he's kind of like...
Very fly.
Yeah, like, you know, he's going to do the proper. He's not really afraid of any of the situations, but, like, he's going to take you out with being a better rapper, and he can't handle, like, again, the whack ones. He's just like, he doesn't care about, like, this rap culture and the way people are talking or whatever. He's just going to come with his rhymes, and he's going to do his thing absolutely properly. And he just went out there and just chilled, and apparently his future is a pool full of Dom Perignon, which sounds fucking terrible. Like, if you had cuts and stuff on you and you jumped into that, I'm saying anywhere, like if you've ever been to the Dead Sea, that's maybe a little bit what it's like. It's not necessarily pleasant is where I'm going for.
Have you taken Don P and put it on a...
No, but I did go in the Dead Sea, which is basically really salty, and you feel every little cut on your body.
Ooh.
Anyway, I also like when he's like, I'm on the grind like the shit you break your weed up in, because he's like a grinder, like, you know, get it? That was one of the cooler weed little puns I've heard over the last my life and whatnot. And I give this a 3.5 on 5. It almost feels like he really is a cool guy and stuff, but this sound of this song and everything just it wasn't for me as much.
I like the fact that the sound for me makes it feel like he's like a cool dude, like I was saying, with that loungy feel, being up on the stage. I can picture him in like a tuxedo, kind of be like a mob bossish, you know, kind of up there, fancy looking person. So that seems pretty cool and pretty OG. So nice little play with the words of the song. I like when he went candy paint Monte Carlo, fresh as laundry, much cooler than the Fonzie. I was like, hey, he's asserting status.
And what's great is he went, hey, like the Fonzie. You know, you just did that.
Oh man. So, you know, Styles P is the flyest on the block. He's got that swagger. He's got that look. Part of me felt like this song was also addressing newer rappers nowadays, the youth, the younger kids. He kind of like he's talking to them. You acting like the dick, you the pussy, the push. You ain't talking about shit unless it's cookies and kush. I feel like he's kind of addressing them like you're not really saying anything besides what you're smoking and what edibles you're taking. You're not really bringing light or message to real hip hop or to like spitting real lyrics besides, you know, the narcotics. So part of me felt like he's kind of like telling the new rappers, like he's the coolest OG because of how he moves and what he represents and how he's still original to himself and like to the culture and all that. I liked this at a 4-on-5. I mean, it was pretty nice to hear. The setup of that whole song, the imagery that I got was really nice. Pretty cool.
So yeah, instead of Star Wars, it's Ghost Wars.
It wasn't legal money, then I be in the dope flips and Ghost Kid.
Okay, we are moving back towards a cooler territory,
Gangster!
in my opinion.
Dope ass beat.
So how do you feel though, Chris?
Dope ass cinematic beat. The intro right away, it's like the piano's building up. You get this eerie feel. You're kind of like, for me, I was like walking into like this haunted house, this like haunted city. This just something really haunted. It was good. Nice play with the Ghost Wars, with the whole ghost image. That was great. Styles P goes super fucking hard on this track. Just the way he presents it, his tone, and just his aggressiveness and his like. It sounds like there's anger, but it's like I think that's just his persona, like part of how he's presenting it. It's not like there's really anger in here because it's straight fucking bars. Yeah, I'm with it. I was never a sane brother. Told you I'm a lyrical assassin. When it comes to the craft, I will kill you for passion. Oof. Rhymes whack. Other is laughing. You on the wrong wave. Need to get you a captain. Damn, that was so fire. But I like that line specifically because of when he goes, when it comes to the craft, I will kill you for passion. It's like he's not even doing it for the money no more. He's not even doing it for the beef, for the retweets, for the clout, as what people are saying nowadays. He's doing it really just because that's what hip-hop is. That's like that old school mentality that I just love destroying other MCs. That was so hard. Keeping that like energy through the song was insane. The beat just keeps that consistent energy going through. It's crazy. I like when he goes on verse 2, right off. He goes, "Ever pray to God for some wrong shit? Like the coke plug come with some strong shit. Yeah, Gun runners come with some long shit. Kisses Jason, I'm on some Born shit." That was fire. Straight fuego. But the idea of thinking that like, you know, he's such in a bad place that he's thinking he's praying for bad things to happen because he can't even find any good. He can't find that happiness, that pain you can hear when he's saying that,
well, it's
like
almost
questioning
like
it.
He's like remorseful because he's praying for things that will make his life better, but they're really just bad things, you know?
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
That's kind of how I took that a little bit because it's a really fucking cool like line, and again, it shows the depth and complexity of the guy, right? Like, I think that's what's truly remarkable about some of these gangster bars, as they say, right? Like, the ones that are done right, they show you, like, this guy's soul. This guy's, like, true inner fears and feelings and, like, real emotions are, like, creeping through these hard lines in a way that you don't necessarily get in certain subgenres of rap music that may just glorify this. I don't feel like he's glorifying. He's trying to educate and, like, share with us, you know?
Definitely.
I don't know if you have more to go on this one.
No, it was pretty much just, I said it all throughout, more just repeating like his aggressiveness and his energy through it. He's kind of asserting his position, you know, stating that he can take anybody on. He doesn't really care. He'll go for every MC. It's really just a cool song, 4.5 on 5.
That's cool. I like the hook a lot better. And it's also worth noting, this is the first one on the album where he doesn't have a friend or anybody on it. It's actually just Styles P. He does the chorus, like I give a fuck, saying they top 5, like I give a fuck.
Right, there we go.
We can let shots fly like I give a fuck. They could die or not die like I give a fuck. And I'm like, damn. Now, I've always had a little bit of an issue with the idea of implying, like, I give a fuck. Well, you do because you said it. You wrote this whole song describing it. You clearly care about the subject matter, but I get what he's trying to imply. He's trying to imply that people act like he cares more than he cares. So evidently he cares that they feel this particular thing and way, but he doesn't actually care about the things that they think he cares about. So he's annoyed by their ignorance and decided to, like, put this track together, even though it's cool, man. Like, he doesn't care who your top 5 rapper is. He doesn't care about the Billboard charts. He's like, at the end of the day, he'll take you out. He'll go toe-to-toe and do the real shit with you. He don't give a fuck. But I like it. Like when he comes in with who getting it first, you're going to be the one that get it worst. Yeti's rap is pussy. You ought to get him a purse. If they try me, you just got to get him a hearse. It's pretty, like, like what you expect from a lyrical guy going at new age rapper types in terms of it. So it's good. He's doing the hip hop thing. I don't think it's going to be super effective to like convert new people to the fan base and shit. But if you down for this lyrical shit and this is how you feel about the new waves, this is like a track that's almost engineered for you and shit. So I give him props on that. I like the way he like flips his rhyme out when he's like because the ghost back told you that it's holiday time. I'm the illest out these out their mind. It was like, sorry, it wasn't that it was cool. It was that the way he like flips all of a sudden from that hearse thing into this rhyme scheme. Like you kind of have a flow going, and I felt the way he flipped the rhyme scheme over there was a little bit jarring, a little bit off-putting. I don't know why. Most of the way he does it, and I noticed he does it kind of like that a bunch. Like he just abruptly changes the rhyme. That's fine, but this one I did not enjoy quite so much. But I did like when he's like, if I'm kicking a rhyme, the flames, brother, every rapper under the sun, whoever the rain covers could get it. Yeah, I'm with it. I was never a same brother. And then, it's kind of like, I think you quoted that part too.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fucking cool.
Same brother.
But it's like, it's fucking strong. Like, you just get the sense that he's really into that lyrical stuff, really understands the crap. Like, and then something I wanted to ask y'all. He goes at the end, all I need is a pair of brass knuckles and a good blade. African, born in America. And in the ad lib, he goes, but I'm not African though. What is he trying to say there? I don't really understand that part.
Maybe he's like directly saying like he's addressing the fact that he's African American, like he's black, but he wasn't, or like he's not born in Africa. He's
so it's like
he might be like a descendant. He respects like the whole connection to the slaves and all that part.
But he's
not like, I'm not from Africa, so I'm not going to claim African. I'm an American.
Yeah, so fucking you up at I bury you, ignorant.
My personal opinion.
Hysteria.
I'm just going to.
No, it's fair. It's a solid thing. But all things considered, I give it a 4. It's pretty good, but I didn't enjoy the beat quite as much. I did enjoy the hook a lot more, and the rhymes are okay. It's exactly consistently what it was been. And then we get our first skit with Ronald Grump.
I'm out here, I'm pushing heavy weight. Check this out, I got that loud pack. It's the most stupid.
How'd you feel about the skit?
It was something.
That escalated very quickly.
I have a theory on the skit, so I don't know if I'm right, but I'd rather comment on it on the next skit. So some guy's trying to sell some folk some White House green using terms like the federal sour and United States loud. He's hyping it up. Then he tries to sell them a bag. They're like, yo, that's not even an 8 though. What the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. He talks some shit, and then they shoot him. And I gave
Or does he shoot them?
I felt like they shot him. Like, they were the hard one. Because they're like, yo, why don't we fuck you up at
one
point?
But I felt like he was the one going like, yo, don't touch me, man. Don't touch me, man. Yo, motherfucker.
I felt like they shot him. Anyway, I gave it a 3. It was fine. I didn't understand it. Maybe I'm missing the point. And like I said, when we talk about the next skit, that will make a little bit more sense.
I gave it a 4 because I feel like it really kind of captures what his city's like a little bit, like on the street, being out on the block, having to hustle for your money, having to lie for it, having to, try to make that grind. Okay. And then as well, like, when somebody does catch on and they're like, they see you're fucking with them, how quickly it can escalate to gunshots, to murder, to killing. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was kind of funny. Ronald Grump is just the name. I thought it was just kind of funny and amusing a little bit. So I left it out of 4.
All right, well, wait your turn, B.
Be upstate, full of hate, trying to see it through. So I put it in first.
So how do you feel about wait your turn? Sorry, Chris, can you please wait your turn? Okay, I'm not that funny. I know. Go on, Chris.
You suck at this. Consistent with the
Okay. Go.
I'm just gonna protest.
I know, but okay, go.
Very consistent with the heavy, hard music. Like we discussed a little earlier, a lot of it kind of sounds repetitive. Same kind of, not repetitive, but same styles, same feel, same sound. I don't know if they're sampling the hook, or is it sound like it's supposed to be sampled? But that was a cool effect. But the song is quite annoying. I hate the fucking sirens throughout the entire sound. There's
the chorus samples Billy Dan's of M.O.P. from the track Breaking the Rules.
But is that a sample, or is it supposed to sound like he's sampling
it?
I think he
grabbed the chorus and
Okay.
Put it in, like,
Okay.
he sampled it.
The siren sound throughout the song was really annoying. The verses were really solid. The rhyming and the timing was really tight. But the song itself just didn't appeal to me. Like, it didn't want me to. I didn't want to listen to it again. I didn't feel anything from it. I was just like, I didn't even get a message from it. I think I lacked that message touch from it. But I left it at a 3.5.
All right. So it was all right. I liked the way he used the chorus. I really, I felt like it had like this cool grimy sense to it. Like he was throwing it back. Like he heard this and he felt so inspired. He just had to write, you know. I like lines like, he familiar with the war and the tour, keep a bullet in his jaw, know for sure that the shit can get raw when I slide. They say what up, no what up back. Ghost bust first, no bust back. Keep that same energy, hope you remember him, I'll be the enemy that won't ever cut slack. And we're talking about like the harsh mentalities and like the really like aggressive rhyming in the sense of like, let's say we look at hip hop like an arena of rappers who are almost like superheroes and they're like using these lyrics as like battling and stuff. That's how I like to picture it now. I don't care how literal some of the guys' stories are, but as I understand, the craft of hip hop is about that a little bit more. And so it's kind of like I just picture this being like savage, like he's coming out with like flaming swords and other kind of bullshit because it's so strong. Like he understands the concepts of what real street life is like. He's a veteran, he's old, he's handled it, like he's been there. And these people try to like cozy up to him and be his buddy. He just doesn't respond. But really when it comes down to it, if he's going to take you out, he's going to do it. And when you are really going to remember about him is that he's relentless and shit, and he's fucking strong. I really, really dug it, you know?
Cool.
You want to test me? Wait your turn, be. It's fucking strong, you know? There's a long line of ready to burn me. I put my foot down firmly. Stick the nose of the gun in some shit that don't concern me. Like, it's just like, you get the sense that on top of all of like the fact that he's like almost willing to react to a situation, at the end of the day, he's almost like a sheriff going around and he's willing to like, if he sees something going on, he's not afraid to get involved in it regardless of who's involved in current political stuff. He's just going to deal with situations as he sees fit, you know, and it's pretty fucking strong, you know? Cena, I ain't like, shoulda let the hammer go down to the dirt, but I know the church is nana go. I don't want the sin on my soul because I plan to go. And so here he's like a guy that he wants to like kill, right? And you know, on a normal day, he just fucking like take the gun out and do what he got to do. But in this current situation, he's like, but for real, his grandmother goes to the church I'm planning on going to on Sunday because, you know, he's got to go. He wants to go to the church and he doesn't want to have to like be there and look at the grandmother and know that he just like killed her grandson and she's sad and shit. He doesn't want to have to deal with that kind of thinking in God's house. And I'm like, that's some harsh shit going on, you know? Altogether, it was really fun to like listen to some of these lines. Really strong kind of like lyrical song. Kind of the beat was all right. It wasn't my favorite. It was a good song to me. I give it a 4. Let's talk about the one with the music video, Heat of the Night.
Bullet holes in your Louis clothes. Get wrapped the fuck up like a sushi.
I've been like kind of feeling the last few songs, maybe like I wasn't really feeling the beats or as much and the overall feel. Like they were like lyrical and I was okay with that, right? I was into some of the lines, and then I heard this one and my enjoyment just like went way up, and I kind of get why it was like a single with the video. The video wasn't anything substantial to me. It was just kind of a visual. It was like, oh, that's what Styles P looks like now, because I didn't really know what he looked like. But the hook that is sung by Kody is just like, it's really beautiful. Like, it's really well done. It fits that beat, and that beat is like a step above what we've been hearing. It's alive. It's dynamic. It's got some breath in it. Like, it's almost like something refreshing. And then that hook, I'm not going to lie, it's got a bit of pop to it, and it kind of sounds real nice, and it comes in. But then you got Styles P bringing it right back to that serious shit, where he's like, homicide goon with shit bags triple. I don't give a fuck when police get dispatched. Wicked, you can hear me laugh with the click-clack. Look at me, you can see me smile when the kickback. You're just like, whoa. So he's not afraid to kill people, do what he got to do. In fact, the cops are getting dispatched. He knows they're coming. And he doesn't care. He keeps going. And in fact, he's so crazy. He's laughing and smiling and shit and enjoying the moment of just pulling the trigger and killing people. Before rap, ask where my gun and my clip at. Got my hands on it, then ask where the strip at? Got coked and I asked where the bricks at. Next rapper that lies, the next rapper I'll click at. And here you get the sense that he's actually sold drugs and he's actually been involved in a street or whatever. And that so when he hears rappers who are fabricating certain things in their life, he feels compelled to do the same kind of maniacal behavior he just described in the previous bars towards those rappers. And I'm like, I can't help but really appreciate the knack of the griminess and the way that he approaches these lyrics with this like authentic prowess of true, like he really just knows how to sound more ferocious than a lot of other people. Or I can't stand with the rain or the pain, sipping on the drain for flipping cocaine. But you smile when you smoking and you whipping off lanes, sipping champagne and you tricking on dames. When you go to hell and you sitting on flames, type of shit I think about sitting on planes. First class if I crash, shit all change. All I do is get high because shit is all strange. And he's just kind of like
Coping.
but it's just the context, right? He's describing this like hostile, fucking harsh environment, consequences, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like you just almost picture it like a movie. Like it just takes a cut back. And all of a sudden it's just Styles P sitting in first class, sipping on some champagne, reflecting on these environment that he actually comes from. So it's almost like this essence.
I mean, you got to think about it, though. Like, even though we might not come from that type of environment and we don't live in his current environment, just thinking about like coming from something that negative and extreme to champagne on a private jet is like the complete polar opposite, right? So
I agree.
You can't help but like I don't think you'd be able to help but sitting back and thinking like, damn, how did I get here, right? Like it's just a shock.
Yeah, it's crazy. I give this a 4.5 on 5. It's a really fucking great song.
Definitely. You pretty much covered what the gist of the song was. I kind of felt like he was just like... The thing is, I felt like he was still spitting really hard bars, but kind of referencing the same shit. Like, he's going to fuck you up. He's gangster like that. He's cool like that. And, you know, I didn't really get this, like, reminiscing feel until Holden brought it up. But some of the lines that I did like was bullet holes in your Louis clothes, get wrapped the fuck up like sushi rolls, soft, get wet like the coochie hole, cootie, put my gun on Goofy though. That's just.
And that comes right after he's talking about the fake rappers selling drugs.
Right. And then in verse 3, I like when he starts off going, flying without a cape, right? I ain't on a safe flight. Underworld turned into a lichen in the late night. That was just cool reference. I like the movie Underworld. But like overall, the concept and not the concept, but the way that I'm understanding Styles P on this track is that he's still being honest and humble about like what he used to do and what he used to be, but he's still coming from a place that he's like, I needed to do what I had to do.
Right.
It's not like it was like, yes, you could say he chose, there was decision and blah, but it's like at the end of the day, he's just here like, it's that or I would have died.
Right.
And I wasn't willing to die, I was willing to live. So that was straight up. I gave it a 4 on 5.
It's pretty fucking ill, Skit.
Feed you Arby's every hour on the hour.
All right, my theory time. This sounds exactly like the fucking Wu-Tang skit where like Method Man and Redman are talking about their torture scenarios. He's like, I'm gonna tie you up and I'm gonna fucking stuff your face. I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna fucking feed you. I'm gonna fucking feed you till you burst. Remember that from 36 Chambers?
Yeah.
So now when I'm hearing this, right, it's like I'm gonna fucking get rough. I'm gonna tie you in the basement for a month, butt naked, feed you Arby's every hour on the hour, pastrami and cheese, sauerkraut and a Reuben and a yoo-hoo to cheese it all up. So you're ill, you're shitting on yourself. And I was like, it kind of sounds like they're a little bit like poking fun at that like classic like skit on that Wu-Tang album,
right,
and recreating it with like how ridiculous it must have sounded to him and almost parodying it a little bit.
But how does this have to do with the last skit? Because you made it a thing on the last
So I was
skit.
wondering if the skits on this album were all kind of parodying kind of like these classic older skits, and I'm wondering if that's the case, maybe I just don't know the reference of the other skit that actually makes it brilliant. Like maybe it's some DMX album or some shit.
Maybe these two. I don't think the other two.
I genuinely don't know. That's why like I was curious, and I was hoping somebody watching this who's more familiar with the global sensitive culture could like come in on that.
Who knows Styles P more?
But I definitely got that feeling, like it felt like that one Wu-Tang skit, and that made me kind of smile. So 4.5 on 5. It made me really enjoy this one.
I gave it a 2. It was short,
Made me
stupid.
hungry.
He shits on himself.
Yeah, but he shits on himself because he's being given free food, bro. Mourning.
It's all about the shine. Let him get it in the sun. Let him get your gun when the moon falls.
This song was really fucking cool. It starts off sampling Gangs in New York, which is a really great movie. One I would like to watch again, actually.
Never seen it.
It's cool. It's long, but it's really a good historical piece. And then like it just kind of comes in with some serious fucking lines like, grinding, I work real hard, it wasn't potluck. A lot of work in the pot, cup was shot up. The glorifying times or the horrifying crimes, but the more I see the soft shit, the more that I'm inclined to let the real, it's all about the shine. Let him get in the sun, get your gun when the moon falls. Soon to tell the goons, meet the ghost by the pool hall, because when the rules get lost, it's a fool's fault. And it's again like this serious situation, this crazy tone. And in this case, the beat's kind of slower a bit. It's gloomier. It's almost like stormy and dark. Like, you know, some bad shit's about to go down. And he's describing how he's got to put in this work in this situation and the reality of the dangers and how he's getting ready. But rest faith, man, he's here. The ghost is ready to go into action. And he's like, you know, squat up and they're ready to like go and do what they got to do. Thinking, can I live? Now the crib got 2 floors. Can't snooze nor take my shoes off. Lotta is rude. That shit'll throw your mood off. Gotta stop and say it's funny that like a rapper who's just talked about killing people and stuff would call other rappers rude. And it's just funny that like manners and it's important for him that manners is a thing,
But
you know?
Hold on. Just to comment on that. It doesn't seem so far-fetched on who he is because he doesn't get violent like that. He's not like a violent person. He's coming at you to kill you because you probably fucked with him, stepped on.
You were rude.
But he's not killing you because you're rude. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying that people being rude puts off his mood is what he just said.
Right, but he's not going to kill them.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it was funny to hear like him say it like that. Not that it's problematic, but it's like funny and like I just wasn't expecting it. But he is kind of reflecting here on how like from a point where he doesn't even know if he's gonna survive to like having 2 floors and shit. It's like a huge upgrade. Lotta is cruel trying to cut your fuel off. Watch your ride die, no jump for you. They pump you up, but I bet they got a pump for you. I was like, fuck, eh? Because, like, the people in his world, they're all savage. They're coming at him. They're trying to discredit him. They're trying to take what's his. And even though, and, like, instead of, like, trying to help him get elevated and stuff, like, with the pump you up line, instead they got a pump ready to blast you and just to hurt you and cause, and, you know, it's like these lines, like, really, like, hits you in the sense of, like, this is the reality in the world that he's in. But then you get to that chorus where he's, I believe the chorus is where he's kind of mentioning his mother and stuff and how like, or there's always that part where it's kind of like he has to kind of like almost tell her that everything's going to be okay, even though you can see the pain in his mother's eyes and whatnot. And it really like hits so close to home that all of this is happening, but he's still just like a person with a family and the same kind of like regular shit. And she's not even stupid a little bit. And I don't know, man. There's so many great lines. This is one of my favorite songs on this album. Like, I give this a 5 on 5. It's deep, it's meaningful, it's same kind of lyrical prowess that he's showing. I don't know. I can't praise this song enough.
Part of me feels like with the intro referencing the movie Gangs of New York, even though I've never seen it, that part that they're referencing and he's speaking and it's this dude speaking to a priest apparently, and they're kind of going back and forth about one of them wanting to bring like the strongest soldiers, and then the priest kind of shows up, if I'm not mistaken, with like these delinquents and these like ragtag people who I'm assuming are going to be gangsters because, you know, trying to play with the title of the movie. And for me, it felt like Styles P is trying to bring light to like they're not just gangsters or hood rats, that they're soldiers, that they're like through the life that they live and all the experiences they have, they come out alive as soldiers, just as like you would if you were in war, at least to these guys. So that was pretty cool. Very heavy bars. Kind of the same stuff we've been getting, but just more emphasized around, like, you have to understand the ideology of the song and kind of be like, it's not just about gunslaying, killing, and robbing people. It's about the experiences and the journalistic point of view of how these people live their lives, what it was to like wake up in the morning and mourn all the dead people you may have lost or killed the night before, just surviving and trying to make your money, trying to get some food on the table. I like when he went in verse 2, born in the jungle, made it out. I survived hate, run with gorillas, bang my chest like I'm a primate. Consider me a land pirate that knows the pie rate. That was just unbelievable how he said that. Overall, I did give the song a 4 on 5. I think it was really cool the way he did it. But like I said earlier, it's a lot of bars. There's nothing. He hasn't really changed how he's giving us and presenting the music. It's still very heavy, very on point with his persona and this like in-depth lyric, fucking heavy.
Well, he's basically a guy who knows what he does. He does what he does really well, and he just does what he does on repeat.
Absolutely, 4 on 5.
Which makes the title of this next track kind of ironic. Different shit.
Blowing dumb haze, real quick to shoot at a nigga, even on Sundays. Yeah, I changed.
Chris, how do you feel about this song?
It's good. It's clean, super tight. Don't really have much to say. Kind of felt like it was the same type of stuff he's been giving us. But really what I got from it is I'm not going to change and I have to deal with the same shit but different day. That's kind of how I took it. We get elements of like there's movements happening. There's people trying to come at him. But he's just going to stay doing what he's got to do and just make his money the way he's been making it and just keep it real. I really left it at a 4 on 5. I don't really have much.
That's cool. I like this one a bit more than the last one. Or sorry, not the last one. The last one I really fucking love. I like this one a bit more than, like, let's say the average of this album. It's got this cool energy to it. This like kind of like it's again him by himself. He's got like a good way of bouncing on these hooks that really make you want to like bump your head and really get into the vibe of the track. And yeah, this one's just kind of describing how he kind of does what he got to do. His grind is real. So he's willing to adapt, though, is I think something that's important, although at the core of who he is does not really change. I like when he's like, I'm on some cool shit because I'm in the money, not in the bullpens. You should be into fucking, not in the bullshit. Smoking a balcony, daiquiris by the pool kid. Splurge on the late night menu. I seal off the way the 38 might end you. No longer selling raw. I'm an entrepreneur. And I like the fact that he takes the time to kind of point out that his life has kind of moved past selling drugs and he's into other stuff. Like knowing that he owns these juice bars selling like vegetable juice, and that he's involved in actual business enterprises, and he's taken these kinds of skills of how he approached the game, let's say, and has evolved them and applied them to new and different things. I think that's the key takeaway of this, like my young days was 2 guns up, blowing dumb haze. Real quick to shoot at even on Sundays. Yeah, I changed. I ain't the same fella. Ask the wifey what she think about the range, yella. We smoking on the beach, drinking painkillers. And here it's like you get the sense that he used to have a certain way where he was super thuggish and he was super willing to do all these bad things per se. But now that he's evolved and he's gotten the finer things in life, it's almost like he's like, yo, check with my lady. This is the kind of world we deal with now. And I like the way you said painkillers and not some like fancy lean or whatever. Like he was just fucking blunt about it. I do like when he's like, game is fact, but some fiction in it, slang with some diction in it, peaceful, but I hurt you. Does that make me a hypocrite? Like, that's some pretty cool shit. Like, he's admitting that at the truth of the day, game is not an inherently honest thing. It's like, it's a factual thing, so there is a fact component to game. But then there's a flair and a style component to game that's like almost fabricated, where you embellish, where you use the slang and stuff, and acknowledging at the end of the day that because he's a peaceful person, but he's willing to hurt you, he questions his own like realness, isn't he? Is he a hypocrite at that point? Fucking profound and interesting song. I give it a 4.25. It's fun. It's got a great beat, but it's not my favorite one. I guess we can talk about For This Occasion.
Trying to beat time, but buck 90 up the odds.
How did you feel about this one, Chrissy?
So I feel that Styles P is letting us know how he copes with life by smoking the green. And he's kind of questioning life and how he can do certain things. He kind of starts off like the first verse with wondering if he can bring weed to heaven, if that could like be something he's allowed to do to help him cope, possibly with the idea of like dying or something like that. I like when he went, is life even worth the stress? Used to wonder if I'm cursed or blessed. If I can't fly high, will it hurt the nest? If I don't clear my mind, will it hurt my chest? Is it a place on earth for my soul to rest? And that line right there really stuck with me because it's really something like, you know, you think about what happens when you die. You think about what goes on next. You think about if you're going to be like, if people are going to remember you, or you can be able to get that peace, or you going to like whatever happens, and that anxiety is really real. Some people, you know, use marijuana to cope with that. Some people don't, depending on who you are. I think that there's a really personal level to this song with how Styles P is trying to get it out and just giving that message. I like how his voice kind of cracks on certain parts where he's speaking because you could feel that tone, that emotion kind of driving right through him. That was really cool. I found this a really great song to give it a 4 on 5.
That's cool. I like the way it starts, as he pointed out. Like, is there a story that makes God cry? So his first thought is, with all the terrible shit going on in the world, you know, like, does any of this hit God hard enough that even God is willing to shed a tear? Or is he kind of ignoring it all and it's totally whatever, you know? Can I bring weed to heaven and get God high? I never thought about that before, but now I'm curious if that's even, like, would God smoke pot if he was around? They say the pineal gland is the God eye, or the third one, so I guess your intuition, what gives you the sense of being able to almost predict the future or see what's going on. And then I like how he's like, yours from the dictionary, heaven is where my word's from, or maybe hell. A gin in the crib can make your old lady crazy or your baby yell. You can hear my soul through the speakers in your JBL. And you have like the sense that he feels almost inspired by divinity, but he's not necessarily certain whether it's God or the devil that's like feeding him these words, or maybe a mix of the two. And then he just kind of immediately validates that with like just reflecting on how if you leave like alcohol, your like wife or your mother or grandmother is going to become alcoholic and create some serious situations, you know. And then lets you know that through your headphones you're gonna really hear the passion of his soul through the words. And I can tell you I heard the passion as we've been going through this album reviews, so I completely respect where he's coming from on that. I like when he's like, I go to sleep and travel, I know the beast can tempt me. I know the snakes can rattle, but knowing's half the battle. Headed up Shit's Creek, no one likes to paddle. Live in a high rise, no one likes to gravel. Fuck with the gangster, no one likes to tattle. Went into war, but no one likes to battle. And you just, again, get this sense he's questioning everything that's going on in his life. He understands the temptations that are happening and he's kind of like paying attention to the landscape and realizing that maybe not everything is quite as it seems. People talk a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily backed up or validated, and like the reality is never necessarily as cool as it's supposed to be, you know? Knew it was a sin, but you knew it was a win. Got close to the end, but you knew it would begin. Got away with it before you doing it again. I would probably do the same. And so you get the sense that like somebody was, believe in the context, somebody's betrayed him at this point, and he's kind of describing that it was wrong and he knew you were going to do it because you thought you were going to get away with it. And then when he really reflects, he empathizes with this person. This person he feels is foolish and maybe hasn't been following the rules appropriately, like ignoring a text message telling them they're $50 over their internet data. And he's applying empathy to the situation and putting himself in their shoes and recognizing that in that moment he may have done the absolute same thing. All I'm trying to say is this is a really great song. I like the third verse. That's just pure questions. It's just questions. Like, if I don't clear my mind, will it hurt? Yeah, Chris said that part. It's fucking good. All in general, I give it a 4.5 on 5. I really like this one. And then it's a window to the soul.
Vampire suck your blood right under the candlelight. Back on my ghost shit. My nigga
Gotta say it, like, it's kind of interesting to see how as the album progresses, this more God-influenced songs keep coming in. Like, it's a prevalent part of his life. Like, you can really feel it. Like, at least half the tracks mention God in some way, but not in, like, a negative sense. In, like, a God is an important part of his life.
But I feel like
sense.
at a certain point, and this is something I've been hearing a lot, I feel like at a certain point in hip-hop, you reach an age where that becomes part of your music. Like, I'm not saying, like, religious rap or, like, Christian rap or shit like that. I'm saying, like, at a certain point, I feel like I started hearing a lot of artists that I listen to, like, reference, like, I praise God for this, I appreciate God for that, I like thank God for, like, the riches I have and stuff like that. So
another way to look at it maybe is that only people who have gone through the worst of the worst can have that appreciation of God, so they feel that need for protection. Anyway,
absolutely.
I like when he's like, my man said he God body, I told him I'm God's soul. On my mind do a chariot, come with a console. I think a paradise cause it's parasites, vampires suck your blood right under the candlelight. And I just thought that was interesting. Like, you hear somebody go like, I'm God body. Like, he's trying to talk about how, I'm righteous. I live a certain way. And then he responds with his version. No, but I'm God's soul. For me, it's like down in my heart or soul, or I guess soul, yeah. He keeps it deep down. And then he kind of notices how at the end of the day, these people who might be talking righteous or whatever turn out to be almost parasites or negative, and how you get the sense how he's looking into people's souls. And it's like the more important, like, to judge a person's character based off of their inner essence than like what they present themselves as. And people are kind of deeper than that. Like, I like when he's like, get this blood money dirty, my hand is sanitized, keep my eye on the prize, not that things that tantalize. And he's like, he goes in and he does all the bad things that he's got to do per se, but it's really to get that money to get into a situation where he can stabilize his life, like have juice bars and whatnot. And he doesn't get distracted with the cars and the bling blings and all of this stuff, because that would, in a sense, prolong his need to do the dirt. And he just wants to get out of the circumstance, and that's pretty fucking noble.
It's something to think of, because, like, now he doesn't need to really do dirt. I mean, he's making money to get the bling bling. So it's like, I feel like there's something in him that's like when he's around that type of stuff, he feels like he has to go back to it, kind of like...
Well, I feel like this is a little bit reflecting, like, because he did it, but now his hands are clean. Like, he washed it. He's now in the good business, you know? Like, it's a little reflective. That's always how I took it. And then I like these who sell drugs, but they won't flip a burger. Still, I was there, too. I don't care. Still crack the gram, but I move the air. Right in my life, but I ain't got a spare room. On the grind, only time move more than me. Only water could flow better. These should know better, but don't act accordingly. And he's, I feel like I mixed up my lines there a little bit. Either way, a bunch of cool shit that he was trying to say there. He kind of recognizes again that back in the day he was the same kind of way that a lot of these younger folk are, even though now he's got the age and the grace and the wisdom, and he kind of wishes that people would kind of follow the rules of the game, kind of like stop trying to break the wheel or go against the tide, like understand what the wave is, understand your place, and like roll with it and whatnot.
Well, I think
I give it a 4.5 on 5. Fucking strong and beautiful song.
Nice. I think the line you're trying to quote, if I'm not mistaken, is these who sell drugs but they won't flip burgers. Shit, I was there too. I don't care. There's an ad-lib that goes to still crack the gram, and now I move to air ridden my life, but I ain't got spare room.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I said that. I just kind of got confused because I started saying the next line.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool line because, like, I feel like he's doing one of two things. One, he's trying to relate to the younger kids who are doing this type of stuff and being like, yo, we've been here too. Like, don't act like, you're the only ones. We've been there. We've done this. We've paved the way. But as well, I feel like he's also kind of stating, like, he's also kind of going at, give me a second.
Right. What's he doing?
The fact that he's still on top. He's still captain because he's like, I don't got spare room. Like, we don't have room for you kids in a way. I kind of took it like that. Like, he's not, we don't, there's no room for the little ones to be.
I feel like he's not offering free rides. Just because he's there, it doesn't mean you can just come join him, right?
That's interesting as well. But overall, the song itself was good. The production was okay. It didn't really entice me enough. 3.9 out of 5.
All right, then we have Going Live, Skit.
It was on my body.
What up? Gee,
I'm gonna comment more on the second part of this skit, but some dudes talking about spending money on some shit, like they were there last night at some club, and the first guy's like, yeah, I spent like $3,000. He's like, we spent more like $9. And they're kind of looking fun, and then somebody important shows up, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta go on live.
Isn't that
like
Styles
Instagram
P?
Live? Yeah, but I think he was still playing a character at that point. Like I think it's a skit.
Okay, fair enough.
And he's like some whatever, and they go on like they're like, yo, famous person, let's go on Instagram Live, get some views.
Right.
Talking about, oh, we got 3 views, blah 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 blah.
7 views.
Well, that's in the second part.
Oh.
And then
bad.
he's just like, yo, I just want to smoke a joint, blah, 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 or blow a joint, whatever. They're like, yo, you can't do that. You can't do that. And he sounds like fucking confused and whatnot.
Right.
And then, like, it just kind of ends, and then the next song plays, and we revisit it. So I was just kind of left confused, but I guess the point is it's kind of weird how these people want to, like, go on Instagram Live and then tell you what the rules are when you're just trying to chill out in your public life doing your thing.
Right.
Interesting. Never thought about that before, but I kind of wish both the skits were kind of squished together, so I gave it a 3 on 5.
Nice. So I gave it also a 3 on 5. I think it was funny. I thought it was cute because of the fact that Styles P, I think, is a lot older than I am. So I feel like it's kind of funny seeing him a little bit confused. Like back in the day, he would just light up his spliff and do what he has to do, or at least the character would have done that. But nowadays, when you're on live and such, you have to be careful what you're doing. So it was cool, but I don't know, just 3 on 5.
All right, Curb the Lames. That's what's next.
Up in Cali though, vibing off the green, it's surviving in my spleen. It's the good.
All right, Chris, how do you feel about this one?
I like this song. It was kind of different a little bit. It had a different sound to it, a little bit of a different feel. Styles P was a little bit more slower on this, had a more kind of like nonchalant vibe to it. But he's basically talking about how he's going to curb the lames and how he's going to just kind of dodge all the haters and be better than everyone else and marking his territory. I liked when he went, this just really sounded cool to me. I don't really know if I got it as I think I did, but like never seen clock hands made out of sands, but it's the sands of time sitting in the hourglass, dance with the devil and you ate. Now you got a fast, strong as you got a last, ever felt so much pain till you got a laugh. So you got so much pain that you got a laugh. And it's just like, I kind of took it as like over time, you have to kind of just laugh at things and look at it and not be so serious when shit starts happening, because pain is something that'll always be there. And the sands of time part with like your own hands being sands of time, it's like you can also cause pain with time and stuff. Like it's just so interconnected that I really enjoyed that line.
Just throwing on that. I think part of it too is that like as time passes, you do a bunch of dark things, and time keeps passing. So you got to fast, and that's like the eating. So the fast line pleasance, you got to take a break from it all, etc.
Right.
But then you kind of like the idea is, have you ever had so many bad things happen that instead of crying, so many shit like just piling on, that all you can do is like fucking laugh. Like it's just funny now because all the worst things have happened to you. And I've had a few moments and days where you just start laughing when everything's falling apart. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was a really powerful bit there. Anyway, keep going.
Nice. No, that was really it, to tell you the truth. The song itself is good. The hook was from Boog Jones was okay. It wasn't the tightest of hooks, but it wasn't bad. I left it at a 4 on 5. At this point, I kind of see where Styles P is coming from and what he is like, what I feel he's trying to do, and I like it. I enjoy it, but it's a lot of the same that we've been getting so far.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good one though, because it comes in with a slightly more interesting beat. I agree with Chris. The hook was not my favorite. It was fine. It just didn't really hook me the way it's supposed to. But I like some of these lines. Like if Christ resurrected and came right now, bet a lot of would miss him. Another would diss him. giving you game right now because a lot of is lost in others in the system. If Muhammad came through in a kufi that's sky blue with a navy blue robe, would you follow him, Pyru? Should I build with the gods since the devil destroyed, but destroy too when we never employed? And it's such a fascinating fucking like look at kind of the faith that people have. So Khan coming back, end of the days, you know. So you're gonna see how there's a lot of people who believe in God and almost found their faith in Him and through Him, and they're happy to see Christ coming back. But on the other hand, there's a lot of people who kind of blame God for the tragedies in their life, who hold God accountable. So they're fucking dissing Him and they're fucking unhappy with the situation. And then He has like, you know, kind of plays up on that a little bit more. But then at the end of the day, it's like, since the devil's gone, etc., it's destroyed. Should I hang out with God? But, you know, we're kind of fucked and destroyed too because we can't get jobs. So we're stuck in this darker life and stuff. And again, it's that really powerful, like fucking, like journalistic perspective that really explains the reality where he comes from. Is the good word dirty if my Bible wasn't clean? I ain't talking to the pastor because it's faster when I dream. Like, that's some interesting shit. Like, his Bible's rugged and disgusting, gone through the grime with him or whatever, and it's easier for him to dream and just fucking relive his shit and deal with his confession and his punishment like that than to go talk to a pastor. Like, that's how I took that. It's fucked up. Anyway, kind of goes on like that. It's pretty much solid, consistent, and deep. I did like when he's like, Illuminati high, my weed jar is Mason, because then he's kind of connecting secret societies like that a little bit. And yeah, build your enterprise is all desensitized. Kids is getting killed and you worried about your mentions, right? Well, mention this. You can smell the stench at night. That's fucking interesting. Everyone's so focused on building up their projects or even like what we're doing, or everyone's got their grind that, like, you know, we kind of stop paying attention to the news and any of those situations because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you're focusing on your stuff, but kids are still dying and you don't even really care anymore. And it's again deep and whatnot. So I give it a 4.25 on 5. I thought it was enjoyable. And then we follow up with the other part of the skit, Live Still Lit.
Asking wild questions, boy. Like, only what? Nah,
we're up to 7 views, and they're on the live, and he's like, yo, whatever, I wanted to smoke my joint, and he's like, we got a question from them, whatever, and they're kind of like, yo, how'd you have some blah, 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 like some disrespectful question. The guy's like looking at them like, y'all are fucking dumb, I'm out of here, and he bounces. And I guess it's just a commentary, like don't go and shove your phone in people's faces like you're on live, like it means something to this person for your fucking 7 views and make them act a certain way. Be cool, smoke your joint first, have a little build up, because it starts off and they're like, yo, let's do this right away, and he doesn't even have a chance to burn his joint and get into the vibe. You know, be a little respectful of other people, is I guess what he's trying to say. I like this one a little bit more because it was a little clearer, so I give it a 3.5 on 5, but I could have lived without these skits.
I just gave it a 3. I thought these were people that were like his friends, and maybe they were kind of a little bit like homophobic, the way he said like blow a joint. Maybe that was like something they were trying to get at. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I think a little bit they were kind of being weird, and he's like, yeah, just young kids. Who fucking cares? It's weed.
Right? Like, it was just very odd. But I did leave it at a 3. I think that I could do without a lot of these skits as well.
All right, so let's talk about the last one on this album.
Going through hell.
Word. Why ask the question to something you know the answer to?
Really great way to end the album.
I agree, but I have to point out that this chorus reminds me so much of Gotta Make It to Heaven by 50 Cent. I went back and listened to that, and the way the drums kind of sound.
Oh, shit,
and
yeah.
the way the hook like flows with that, the rhythm and shit, it's really like I've been going through hell, gotta make it to heaven, gotta make it to heaven, gotta. So that's like 50, or is it this song? You know, it's kind of hard to tell. But I thought that was cool, and the drums and stuff. Then you have that like first beat part in the first verse, which is kind of faster paced. Then after the chorus, it just flips into like a second part, and then after every chorus, it just kind of flips around again. This song is fucking. First of all, it's the best song on the album, like hands down. Like, it's deep, it's fucking cool. And, like, you go through just multiple sides of them. Like, you got lines like, never less than what you never less what you can never have. Wondering if God cried because I know the devil laughed. Came from the dark, so the light is the better half. I gifted a curse, yeah, sure to split your head in half. Came from the light source, then hit the dark force. Now I need sight, what you think I'm trying to spark for. And he's just kind of like showing that, like he goes into the weed and he sparks it all up, and his mind's fucking clogged because he's looking in this dark era of life that he's surrounded in, and he understands, like, does God cry? Because he can fucking see how the devil's laughing in his environment and shit. All that same kind of, I guess, thematic stuff you may have explored earlier on the album, but it's still so strong. But it sounds way better over this beat, like substantially one of the, like, it's almost like a full step up, you know? Like, why ask the questions some of you know the answer to? The angels sing, the devil tries to dance with you. You a nerd, and then the gangsters want to something with you. Then you become wild, and the biz get scared to camp with you. These are my trials and my tribulations, blowing weed for the stimulations. My body's my temple, the crib need renovations. I'm the contractor. Can't be the boss without the mob, without the dawn factor. Make your wife smile, bring your mom laughter and kids too. And there's a lot to unpackage in there a little bit. So, you know, why do people just kind of look out there and pretend like they don't understand what's going on in the world or blah, blah, blah? Like, they ask lame questions, they ask rhetorical questions almost, and it's like almost time wasting in the approach. And he's just blames it down. Angels saying, devil's trying to fuck with you. And if you're just a nerd, and gangsters are going to kind of come at you in a certain way. And then he kind of like points out that when you're wild in this world, like nobody really wants to mess with you, etc. So he points out, you see why I need weed again. Like evidently it's an escape for him. But what I love is this idea of, to be a boss, you need to have that mob factor, which means you take care of your family. Everybody's happy. You take care of your crew. You feed the people. It's not just this selfish endeavor to take over and whatnot. I don't know. It was really great. I give this a 5 on 5. Almost every line in this song was powerful and worth listening to.
I enjoyed how he changed tones and moods when the beat changed. The production on this was way more polished than the rest of the album. The sound to this was just like tech. It had like a techno feel to it, but it also this grimy hard feel to it. It was really great. Lyrically, it's fire. Lyrically, he fucking unravels it like a boss. I like how he brought it back to end the album. He started off hard, he ended hard. He ended with, you know, bringing it back to like, look, we went through hell, I went through hell, I'm still going through hell, kind of validating certain reasons why he might smoke or what he's doing. But at the end of the day, it was a very great beat, and I left it at a 4.
All right, so that's the end of this album review. So before we like finish up, we're gonna just kind of give our thoughts on the album as a whole. I give this project a 4.125. So this is how I feel about this. Styles P is consistent. Like, he is absolutely brilliant in his performance when he rhymes on every song. The thing is that I don't feel that every beat is equal, and I don't feel that every chorus and guest spot on the album was equal. So there are some songs I really like the last one we just listened to, and a couple of the more deep introspective ones. A couple of them are just like, all right, exactly what I wanted of a gangster rapper. And then some of them are just kind of like, well, Styles P is great, and I could do without the other parts of it. But so ultimately, it's a really good album. Like, if you're really into that lyrical shit, I highly recommend you bump this. If you like that old school style, this is for you. Check it out. I'm totally recommending that.
Definitely. The album for me landed at a 3.9. I think overall I like the lyrics. I like Styles P's style. I like how he does his thing. But again, there's only so much for me that I can like sit there and listen to a full track of just repeated bars by the same artist. I think that's where I'm starting to kind of realize after doing a lot of these reviews, is that there's only so much I can take of one artist and then I need to switch. But that does not discredit what Styles P can do and the brilliance that he brings to the rap game and to the table. Throughout the album, I felt he's really involved with the culture, very involved with the old school type of rhyming, the old school hip hop, and even the new. Like, there was some ad-libs on some of these tracks that, like, it's no short than how stupid and how exaggerated Migos does as well. So it kind of shows like he's still involved with music and he still sees how like the new music is, but he's also trying to showcase what, you know, he can do and what he's known for. So that was really good.
Perfect. So thank y'all for being with us. It's truly awesome that you watched this review, that you joined us on this. Feel free to let us know in the comments how you felt, if you liked us, if you liked the album, what your thoughts are. If you do like the video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more reviews, hit the subscribe. We do take requests, but special shout out to Mozart and Lindell Williams, our patrons. They just participated in our first ever request raffle. So if you do join us on Patreon and show some love like that, we'll get better gear sooner and improve the quality of the show. But you could get into that request raffle where you throw out whatever album, interview, whatever you want us to do. And every month we'll pick one of those randomly and boom, we'll make that happen. This time Mozart got it, and we're going to be doing that album soon. You'll also get access to content early and a couple other things, and we're going to evolve this as it goes. So we really want to build this into a bigger thing, and we need your help. So if you dig what we're trying to do here and you want to see us get better, that's a great way to help. Thank you so much for being with us. Anything is amazing. Just being here is cool. So until the next time, we're going to be doing, like I said earlier, Kids See Ghosts, which is Kanye West and Kid Cudi, and Nas next week. So boom, peace.